again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Saturday. Yesterday, I hope I didn't make too many people sick when we were talking about The View, and of course, Joyless Reid giving us her normal Democratic spiel that we all thought was just hysterically funny. And again, we talked about The View, and again, most of us don't watch it. I just watch snippets whenever they say something totally outrageous. Black pastor claps back at Joy Reid for crying over. Remember, she was talking about the people who were there and how it really wasn't a black church. She was just, pulling things off the wall, just hysterical. And I wanted to share this with you. There's a black pastor that clapped back at Joyless Reid for crying over white people, saying that wasn't a black church. So she just thinks she knows everything. All right. So I'm going to play this. I'll be trying to track. You're right, Florida. She's totally joyless. And so I'm going to play this. I'll be trying to keep up with your comments in the comment section, folks. Go ahead. How you doing, C. Fryer? Go ahead, please. Hit that like button for me. Share this video out on your various forms of social media. And folks, tell me what you think in the comment section. So here's this pastor and see what he has to say about Miss Joyless.
Right, so you've seen that, you heard that, okay? The mainstream liberal media has been criticizing the Church of Detroit that hosted Trump for an event to talk about politics and what Trump can do for the community of Detroit. Apparently, this is a controversial thing. This is a bad thing for a black church to host a Republican and to actually talk with a Republican. And the 180 Church of Detroit has gotten a whole lot of backlash from the media for hosting Trump. So I decided that I would bring the pastor, Lorenzo Sewell, to talk about what actually happened at the church that day and how this all kind of came about, because he's receiving a lot of media criticism for essentially allowing Trump to speak to the black community. So without further ado, I want to introduce Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, who is going to tell us kind of how they got Trump to come to this church in the first place.
I'm so grateful, man. So Hippopotamus, happy to be here with you, Greg. I mean, what you're doing, your audience, I am so blessed that a man that looks like you is opening the minds of black people, specifically those who have had the stronghold of the Democratic Party on their minds for so long. Can you imagine 2 weeks ago, a kid born and raised on the east side of Detroit, mentored by murderers, student of the street, get a call from the Trump campaign that they want to come to the hood, right? I mean, you got the hood, and then you got the hood, right? You got like women walking around selling themselves. You got like people addicted, cross-addicted for generations, right? I mean, we give out $14.1 million of resources for the last 4 years in partnership with United Way, because we are in a context where kids can't read, write, do math. I mean, we haven't had a new home built in over 20 years in our. So for Donald Trump to call me, I thought it was a joke, right? I thought Ashton Kutcher was walking out like you're being punked type of thing. And when they called, and that wasn't the part that resonated that they called, right? I understand it's a political season. The part that resonated is the campaign made it very clear that they wanted people from their community there. So the day that it got approved, which was that Monday, I taught the church about praying for our leaders on that Sunday, which I thank God for 180 Church. We are a praying church. After it got approved, Greg, the first thing I did was I went to city council. First thing I did, because I am the head of my clergy caucus. So I went to city council, told them that they would be coming, told them that they were invited, and we went to the methadone clinic, Greg, and we began to knock on doors and began to tell people that they would come. And the type of people we saw in the audience, the type of people that are in 48227, that have been living there, some of them for 40 years, they were so excited that the president came and had a conversation with them.
Yeah, I think that story is important because, again, the media here is trying to twist kind of what happened to try to say, well, it was staged. Okay, they try to say what happened when Trump held the Bronx rally. They try to say, well, that was staged, right? So-called people of color. There's no way they could actually show up for Trump, a Republican. And it's like, well, if you actually look at the video, you saw there was a lot of people there. It was diverse, right? And usually these individuals love diversity, except they don't really like diversity in the Black church when it comes to white people and also people from the community as well, too, coming together to basically try to hear the president of the United States, the former president of the United States, who's running for re-election. Now, again, the criticism is that there were white people in the church. Were those people from the community, or were they people who just kind of heard about it? They came from out of town. Like, what is your take? What is your response to people criticizing the church because it was too white?
You know, this is so interesting, right? You alluded to it. When it's diversity, inclusion, and equity, and when the people of God are gathering together in a church, even if you hate Trump for him to be in the church, the only person that wouldn't want him in the church is the devil. The only person that wouldn't want black and white gathering together is the devil. The white people that were there were volunteers. Then the press. So for all the pastors out there that have had a president in your church, you know what it takes, right? For all the people that have had a president gather together in your church, let me explain to you how it happens. The first group is the Secret Service. And there are a very small niche group that have already been clear, people like me, my wife, and others that are able to be there. Then the media comes in. So what the media did was, after the Secret Service, after the volunteers, the media came in, Greg, what did they do? They started taking pictures, right? It created a narrative that says what? There were only white people.
Yep.
Well, what about the rappers from Detroit that were there? What about people, black people that were physically there? Why didn't the media just walk up to them and ask them the same question that they're trying to portray? Why didn't they just walk up to them and say, what? Aren't you disappointed with there not being enough black people? They couldn't do that because there were a significant group. I would say about 60 to 70% of those that gathered there were not only from Detroit, but they were black.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, you know, specifically certain media figures like Joy Reid, which is funny to me because like your parents are immigrants, like, and you try to pretend like you have this connection to Jim Crow and to slavery and to the black church. It's like, you really don't have that connection. Okay. You're a black lady wearing a blonde wig. But you're trying to get question, which I think is cultural appropriation, by the way, but you're trying to question the authenticity, the blackness of a church because there was a diversity of people there. Okay. And, you know, they try to discount the rappers. It's, oh, well, they're no-name rappers. They did the same thing when it comes to the Bronx rally in New York City. There was a lot of people there, like actual rappers and stuff like that, people from that community. And it was like, oh, well, they're no name. Nobody knows who they are. Right. Apparently, it only matters if you're like Democrats, you can get Hollywood celebrities to show up to your fundraisers, right? The big names, right? Little guys don't really matter. I think it really shows the elitism in the Democrat Party and in the media as well, too. So I'm glad that you kind of cleared that up because that is a narrative that's being put out there that I think is unfortunate that people are trying to racialize the house of God, right? Like, I think that faith should be colorblind. You know, religion is for everybody. I don't think it's, again, for a certain, you know, skin color or whatever, but this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to question the authenticity of the church just because of some racial dynamics. But what I really want to ask you about is what Trump actually said. Like, is there anything specific about his agenda that stood out to you in regards to what he talked about at the church?
Oh, the number one thing that he did for us is, number one, he was present. Number two, he began to highlight how people of color typically lose jobs when people of other, what we would call middlemen minorities, come into our communities. And when I say black communities, I'm talking about black communities that are in poverty. I understand that there are black communities in other parts of our nation that are more affluent. I'm not talking about those type of black people. I'm talking about black people that when you drive up to a gas station, you don't know if you might get shot.
Yeah.
Those are the contexts our church serves in. So Joy Reid and, you know, Roland Martin and, you know, limousine liberals where their kids go to private school and they're, you know, they live in gated communities. That's not the type of black people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about black people in Detroit, Pontiac, Flint, and Saginaw. Black people that, quite frankly, our mayor had said he'll never develop communities like ours. Our white mayor said that would never happen. I'm talking about those particular communities. President Donald Trump sat there and he said, you're going to be hurt because those who come in across our borders, and I'm seeing it, Greg, this isn't something I'm guessing or I'm looking at on Fox. Yeah. No, I have people from Venezuela that come to my church that we give money to. I'm going to be very transparent with you. And they are not documented. Now, I'm a pastor. I'm showing the love of God because that's my job. But at the end of the day, the practical reality is what? Those jobs are going to be taken away from my community because of those who have crossed this country illegally. And let me go a little further. We serve the city of Pontiac. 20% of the city is Latino. Out of those Latino Americans, most of them are very upset that people are coming in, taking their jobs because they have not gone through the process. So what's my point? That's what the president was doing. He was sitting down, having real conversations with real people of color who are in a situation that is impoverished. Not only that, so let me say there's another aspect of this that I would really say it's more of, I would say, soft skills. It's a part of, I believe, his New Yorkism, so to speak. He was not socially awkward around Black folks. Now, look, Greg, I deal with a lot of white, I deal with a lot of PUIs, primarily white institutions, right?
Yeah.
I have older white men that when they get around Black folk, they get weird, right? They get awkward, right?
Like Biden, like Joe Biden, for example.
It gets weird, right?
I'm just saying. We have video evidence, okay? Did you see the Juneteenth concert at the White House?
It just gets, right? So you got to picture this. President Trump is done speaking. He stands up. The stage gets rushed. Remember, you had 100 Black people on the stage, right?
Yeah.
So the stage gets rushed. People start throwing, hats, memorabilia, all types of stuff. He signs everything that was given to him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says to me, I want to talk to the pastor. I want to see the pastor. Then he says, listen, I have never had anybody pray for me like that. Do you know how humbling that is as a man of God?
Yeah.
Do you know how humbling that is that the Bible says we should be praying for our leaders and it pleases God because God wants everybody to be saved in 1 Timothy chapter number 2, verses number 1 through 4? Like, that's important to me. And for him to say that, I believe it's apropos of his heart, wanting to feel loved by everybody and wanting to love all Americans. Because remember, the dude doesn't have to do this, right? He's worth $6.7 billion.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that really does say something about, the fact that, this is not just for his own personal financial gain, obviously, because he has enough of that. I'm not sure exactly why the guy doesn't just retire and live his life, right? But, hey, he still wants to be president of the United States. And I think that a lot of people waking up to what's happening in this country, and specifically when you talk about immigration in the Black community, it's not just in the Black community either. I mean, you also have Hispanics, too, who also want something done in regards to being tougher on immigration, and for good reason. A lot of people come in this country legally. They have to wait and go through the process, and they don't want people coming in after them that didn't have to go through that same process. So I 100% understand where Hispanics are coming from. I understand where Black people are coming from. I just wish that Black people would have realized this a long time ago before having the border be wide open, thanks to the Biden administration. And now you have these illegal immigrants being flooded into these communities, mainly Black communities. And now all of a sudden, there are people waking up and realizing, okay, it's not racist and xenophobic to say the border should be secure. So, I think that what you bring up here in regards to the immigration policy, I think is important. I think that is going to play well. I think that's part of the reason why Trump is getting the surge that he is in Black support, at least according to the polls. We'll have to see on election day in terms of what happens. But I'm just happy that you were able to give us some insight on what happened that day and kind of push through some of the narratives that are being pushed by the mainstream liberal media. So I want to thank you for coming on. You can go ahead and have the last word, let everybody know more about your church and anything that you want to kind of say, and then we can close it out.
I think it's very important. If you're a Black American out there, right, do your research. 1854, there was a group of patriots that rose up that wanted to go against the Kansas and Nevada Act to expand slavery. They're called the Republican Party. I would ask every Black American to do your research. Look at Frederick Douglass. Look at his relationship with Abraham Lincoln. Look at men like Harvard, W.E.B. Du Bois, right? Be willing to say, just because you're Black, that does not mean you need to be a Democrat. And I know it's hard, right? Socially, economically, I know it's difficult. But it would be better for you to stand up for something than just to give up for anything.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And so I guess we can end it there. But how you doing, Teresa, Florida, Andrew, Pure Bud, Beverly, everyone who's just coming to the chat, those that are here, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. I wanted to share this with you because if you weren't here, yesterday we did a video and we were talking about The View and how they were just taking everything out of context. So I found this interview today and I'm like, hey, we may as well talk to the guy that helped set it up and get the truth without a liberal slant. Teresa said, there's people who have been coming the right way, and that's something that's making them mad. The new people coming shouldn't get citizenship before them. Yeah. Jacqueline, how are you, dear? Denise, hey, hello, how are you all? And so, again, folks, I have people reaching out to me, and they're telling me, you know, I'm Hispanic. I came here. My family came here. We did it right. No one gave us anything. We had to work. And so, again, don't just think white people, Black people are angry. People who came here legally, legal immigrants are angry. They've reached out to me. So no one is xenophobic. No one is racist. People just want people to do things the right way and stop using American tax dollars. Pure Bud says The View was extremely disrespectful to this pastor. Pure Bud, you know how they are. Anyone with a differing opinion. How you doing, Laurie? Anyone who has a differing opinion, oh my God, they just lambast you. And that's just, I mean, I wouldn't even go on the show because you know what they're going to do to you. And you already know their views. So, Denise, I'm good, Miss Rowland, and sure hoping everything is well. Everything is well, Denise. I found this interview and I'm like, I just did the video last night on The View and of course, all the lies and embellishments that they were sharing, of course, to fit their narrative. And so then I said, wait a minute. I said, I'm going to go ahead and go live and share this with all of you, because when I find something, I want to share it with you because you need to know. And sometimes we get busy. And so, you know, hey, I'm not sure if you have it or not, but most of you who are on here now, you're here every time I'm live. I do appreciate the support. I do need for you to share this video out on your various forms of social media. I need each of you to please hit that little thumb, the like button, to help trigger the YouTube algorithm. Jacqueline says, I saw tons of Black women in Philadelphia today at the Trump. Right, Jacqueline? But every time, okay, we know this has been happening. This has been a trend. And then they come out with all kinds of lies, or it's AI. You know, the secretary up there, Pierre, up there at the White House, she's talking about AI. And I don't mean Allen Iverson. All right, artificial intelligence. And she is telling all kinds of lies. These pictures that we're all seeing of Biden falling, looking dazed, lost, confused. It's AI. It's fake. So anyway, I thought it was very telling, folks. If you look at what we've been saying on this channel for the past 6 months, it's very telling. The Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of inclusion. It's supposed to be the party of diversity. It's supposed to be the party of equity. However, if you disagree with their views, haven't you guys noticed they throw that DEI out the window and they start to lambaste you? They start to tell lies. So you're all right as long as you view things the way that they view things. And we all know, those of you just coming in, if this is your first time here on the channel, Joyless Reid and everyone else over there at MSNBC is a Democratic plant. They are not suffering like the average American. I really enjoyed this video, folks, because this pastor, you need to talk to someone or hear from someone who was actually there. We know you can't listen to anything that these people at the Clinton News Network and MSNBC are saying. We know they're all bought and paid for, folks. That's not what we need to be doing, because you're not going to get the truth. Andrew said, zero talk, how the Senate voted against impeaching Mayorkas. Okay. Teresa, Trump is going through a lot of crap for 8 years. He's strong enough to get things done as quickly as possible. And finally, the Republican Party is united behind him. Yes, Teresa, but they still have a lot of rhinos, dear. People who are Republican in name only, and they're stabbing him just like the Democrats. Okay, so he has to be careful for that as well. Let me see, where are we here? If I missed your comment, folks, charge it to my head, not my heart. Let me see. I'm trying to keep up. I know I may have missed some of you, but like I said, everything we've been talking about for the past 6 months, you see it coming to fruition. The Democratic Party, their gaslighting has increased. Their psychological manipulation has increased. Their schemes have increased. Their swindling and bamboozling has increased. Their deception, the ruses, the brainwashing, it's increasing, folks. They are desperate. If you've ever heard, don't corner an animal. If an animal feels that they have no way out, you better watch out. They're cornered. They're trapped. They know their time is coming to an end, and they are very desperate. Okay, they are not willing to relinquish power. Now, as I listen to this video, and there are several other videos I watched today, I think it's so telling. What have we been saying for the past 6 months on this channel? People are waking up, right? Let's welcome everyone who's leaving the Democratic plantation. I told you guys when I started this series, and some of you were like, I don't know. Some people didn't believe me. There are a lot of people that look like me that's saying the same thing. They're right here on YouTube. People are waking up, okay? And I need you to help me share this information. The Democratic plants and puppets, they're coming out more. They're not going away. And so we have to be, exactly, Teresa, thank you. We have to be vigilant. You really think that they're going to try to do things right, as desperate as they are? You think they're going to follow voting rules? No, they're not. They're not. They are not willing to relinquish power. And they will do anything necessary to retain it. Ask Jill Biden. You see what she's doing with her own husband. Her own husband, folks. Elder abuse. Okay? And everyone, all of his handlers, they know that man has some serious cognitive decline. They know that, but they just don't care. They want power. They crave power that much. Andrew says there's a channel where Democrats are acting like Republicans, giving testimonies of voting by. Yeah. Andrew, they're pulling out all stops. We've been talking about this. Be vigilant, people. Be cognizant of what is happening. They're not going down without a fight. So don't be shocked by anything they may say or do. They're going to do whatever it takes, folks. Okay? So I just wanted to, I wasn't going to keep you a long period of time. Oh, I know what I had to tell you guys. John Joyner, if you were here when I started this series, I spoke with him today. He's coming on the show next Sunday. So get ready. Okay? That'll be a treat. Fryer said instead of 2,000 mules, there just might be 20,000 mules. Jill should be charged. C. Fryer gets it. C. Fryer, if that were you, if that were me, with an older, elderly loved one doing what she's doing, we would be arrested and thrown in jail. It's sad at this point. Okay. Oh, that's right. The Democrats are elites. So they'll do as I say, not as I do. Right. That type of mentality and mindset. Okay. So again, folks, be vigilant, stay encouraged. Okay. It's coming to a head. All right. Nothing they're doing or saying is shocking me. I'm just sitting back laughing because we go back. If you weren't here when we started this series about 5-6 months ago, go back and check those videos. A lot of things that you're hearing and seeing now, we talked about it. When I talked to Mr. John Joyner today, he said, Roland, he said, because he's been watching all the videos since this series started. He said a lot of the things that we've said on this channel are happening now. I said, yes, sir, they are. Okay. How you doing, Debbie? Harkness. We have to give Trump the majority in the House and Senate, period. Crystal, yeah, exactly. Crystal, right. Let the games begin. I think Crystal's new here. I think Debbie's new here. Let's all welcome them to the Roland's Reviews YouTube channel. Guys, please hit that little thumb. Debbie, Crystal, if you have Facebook, if you have Instagram, if you have Truth Social, share this stream out so we can bring more people to the channel. I cannot disseminate this information alone. I need your help. How you doing, Ben? Okay. So keep that in mind, folks. I'm encouraged because the more I see them tell lies and just make it up as they go. And like I said, I just look at them and they have their checks. None of them are struggling like the average American. I'm not listening to any of those people. They don't have a struggle. They all have their checks, right? And so, Crystal, yeah, thank you so much, dear. The games have begun. And we're not at checkmate yet, Crystal, but we're on the way. John, how are you doing, dear? Thank you so much, Andrew. Yeah, Denise says, welcome all of you newcomers, and please don't forget to hit the like. Thank you so much, Denise. And so, yeah, if you guys continue to hit that little thumb, that will trigger the YouTube algorithm, okay? We know since I did that video on what Tyson Foods did to those Americans in Perry, Iowa, they are suppressing my videos. I need you to help me. Look, I told you, if you're new here for the first time, if the Democrats win in November, you can kiss this country goodbye. I mean, it's almost done now, right? We cannot live through 4 more years of Democratic rule. We cannot. Thank you so much, Debbie. Sub and hit the bell for all the good. Exactly. Thank you so much, Debbie. Everyone, let's welcome Debbie to the channel. Steve, how you doing, dear? Good afternoon. Trump being in Philly will continue to show that he is the one for America. Yes, Steve, people are waking up. So now we'll have to wait for the Democratic plants, the Democratic shields. They'll come out just like they did when he went to this church in Detroit. And you see, the Democrats feel they're in their feelings right now. Typically, who goes to the black churches? Republicans don't go to black churches. So they're feeling angry. They're pouting because they're like, wait a minute, this is our territory. What the heck are you doing here? So you see how they lashed out at Trump? Because Republicans don't go to black churches. They feel that's their territory, right? Typical slave master mentality, right? People have escaped the Democratic plantation. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Don't go back. There is nothing there for you but lies and deception and more psychological manipulation. There is nothing that the Democrats are doing for Americans. If you're new here for the first time, go back and check out some of my old videos. They've done nothing. Now, if you want more of nothingness, then you know who to vote for, Joe Biden. And don't get it twisted, folks. If they pull the plug on Joe and insert someone else, same results. It's the same narrative, right? It's the same agenda. We can't afford to have any more Democrats in the White House. We cannot. Teresa, our chickens are being killed because of bird flu, and I think they're alive. Teresa, exactly. It's another form of control. Teresa gets it. And Teresa, if you're not a large, one of the courses I teach, Teresa, is animal science. So I know all about the chicken and poultry industry, okay? And if you're not a large chicken farmer, okay, they can squash you. Most of the mom and pop operations are gone out of business, right? It's all large. It's big business now, right? So the mom and pops, they just get squeezed out, just like everything else. Debbie's in Flint, Michigan. All right, perfect. Teresa said our farmers are being pushed out. Teresa, and I know what you're talking about, dear. Again, shoot me an email. I teach one of the courses that I teach is animal science, dear. So everyone, if you don't know, listen to her. She's telling you the truth. How you doing, Valerie? Roland was thinking about you a couple of days ago, wondering where you went. Good to see. Oh, Valerie, I've been here, dear. You probably were not receiving your notifications, okay? But I have not gone anywhere. They have been suppressing my videos, but I'm going to keep fighting. I am not going to stop. Ben says horse taste. Okay. So anyway, Andrew said that's Democrats why they're not talking about or bothered by those two illegals that the 12 years. Yes. Oh my God. Andrew, we've been talking about all the crimes that they're committing. Murder, SA, of course, I can't say it. They're already suppressing my videos, but you guys know what I'm saying. To the SA to the girls, Denise, they're going to have to exchange the pretendency out, the lie of him being in charge of ain't flying no more. Yeah, exactly. How you doing, Michelle? All right, we got someone else in here. Everyone say hello to Michelle. How you doing? Joyless Reid and Sunnyless Host. Michelle's new here and she's coming with jokes. I love it. Michelle, you got me laughing, girl. I love it. Two of the most miserable race hustlers because like the Real Housewives, the more drama, the more money. Right, Michelle? Michelle, I think you're new here, lady. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Michelle, go back and check out my videos, dear. I talk about race hustlers all the time. Joyless Reid is one. Sunnyless, as you call her, Sunnyless. I like that. She's one. Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Jesse Jackson. Of course, he's in no physical condition to do it any longer. But the Congressional Black Caucus, the NAACP, all of the Democratic shields, Roland Martin. I could go on. These are all puppets. These are all plants of the Democratic Party, folks. Wake up. Angela, how are you, dear? I think you're new here as well. And so those of you who are just coming in, when I end this live, please go back and watch the beginning of this video. Those of you who are just coming in, share this video on your various forms of social media, please. I can't get the information out by myself. I need your help, okay? Where are we? Michelle, Angela, please hit that little thumb, the like button. Please hit that subscribe button so that we can continue to bring you this content, all right? Roland Martin, TD Jakes. One Nation Underground, how are you? She's probably mad about Black people being at church, period, right? One Nation. And again, the Democrats in their feelings because typically Republicans don't go to Black churches. So they feel that's their territory. So they're going to come out and say all kinds of hideous things, right? They don't want Republicans in the Black church. And I have another video to share with you guys. And I may share that with you tomorrow. And this Hispanic guy in Texas who came over here legally, and we said this 6 months ago, they're flooding the country with all these people to take American jobs. And he says specifically, Black people, if you don't know already, you've already been replaced. So why would you keep voting against your own self-interest? That's crazy. Valerie, so tired of people twisting President Trump's work. Valerie, they're desperate, dear. They're desperate. C. Fryer, welcome all new people. Yes, C. Fryer, I'm so glad to have you here, dear. I'm so glad to have all of you here. We have got to get the word out. I cannot sleep at night knowing everything that's going on and knowing that people are still being lied to and just knowing that some people don't know the truth. That really bothers me, folks. It really does. and Denise to hurt Americans. Right, Denise? Now, Denise, if we were non-American, the Democrats, they do everything for you as long as you're not an American. The Democrats discriminate against Americans. I've said that for 6 months. Denise, you can go back and check my older videos, dear. I've been saying that. If you're an American, you get nothing. So why would you vote? And this guy from the video I watched earlier, the Hispanic guy, he said, the Democrats don't need your vote anymore. They flooded the country with people who aren't citizens, and they're trying to make it so they can vote. They don't even need your vote anymore. Why would you vote for them? And I've had a lot of people to tell me, couch 2024. Okay. One Nation on the Ground. It's the 6 build that gang versus Christians. Okay. Debbie said, getting ready to watch Trump in Philly. Yeah, Debbie, I'm going to let you guys go because I know you guys have to get ready for that. And Cat Mama. Oh, yeah, Cat Mama gets it. Yeah, Cat Mama has been here. She knows. We've said that they are pushing the Marxist, communist, socialist agenda. Yes, they are. And that's what they want for America. Go to Venezuela and see how that's working out for them, and come back and we'll talk. Andrew, also 11 million plus people to drain out of America already stressed. Yeah, just more of a drain. That's where they're spending our tax dollars. Okay, Debbie, see you later, dear. Hope you'll be here tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. Crystal, it's not too late, Crystal, but if we don't get these Democrats out of that White House, girl, it will be. This is in my lifetime, this is going to be the most important election. So Andrew says, I can destroy your world just by getting my way in your kitchen. Okay, Andrew, don't come blow up my kitchen. Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys go ahead, get ready for the Trump rally. I know you're busy and you want to get your popcorn ready for that. So I may come back on and live stream. I have to go out and water all my plants because it's 1,000 degrees outside, and I didn't water them because I had a funeral that I had to attend earlier. So yeah, I'll let you guys go so you can prepare, do what you need to do. However, I enjoyed each of you, and you know how I do. I will speak to all of you. I will answer all of your comments even after I end the live. Michelle, Roland, are you live Thursday? Yes, dear, I will be. Yes, I will. I'll be live. Andrew, stream today. Yeah, Andrew, I have to set that up, dear. Andrew wants me to stream for the Philly rally, so I'll probably come on and do that. Florida, thank you very much to all. Yes, yeah. Michelle, make sure you're here tomorrow at 4:00 p.m., dear. We need more American patriots like you and C. Fryer and Florida, Crystal, Debbie, One Nation Underground, Andrew, Denise, all of you. I need all of you here. Angela, I need you here to help me. So thank you so much for spending your very valuable time here at the Roland. John, I'll see you guys. Like I said, I may set the stream up for later. But anyway, Sally, yes, you want me to stream to the back? Yes, Sally, I definitely will, dear. I'm going to end the stream now, and I will respond to your comments. You too, Teresa. These hearts are for you, Teresa. But I will be responding to your comments even after I end the stream. Thank you so much for being here at the Roland's Reviews YouTube channel. Take care, and I may stream when the rally starts in Philly. All right, take care. James, that's all right. You go, make sure you go back and check it out at the beginning, dear. James, I'm going to respond to you in the comment section. Thank you, Denise, Steve, all of you. Goodbye.